Jewish Russian Community Center is located in North Toronto, but on several occasions recently, video surveillance indicated that an individual was trying to break into the center. While he damaged the building's front facade, he never was able to actually break in. Perhaps the man was motivated by anti-Semitism, or maybe he was just a garden variety thief who reckoned there were valuables to pilfer from inside the building. But here's the real story, folks. When Rabbi Shmuel Neft reported these incidents to the police, incredibly, the cops at 32 Division, they simply couldn't be bothered to take this matter seriously. But why? And joining me now is Rabbi Neft for more on this story. Hey there, Rabbi, how are you doing?
Good to see you, David.
Great. So first things first, in the beginning of your quest for justice, as I understand it, you were put on hold for more than 2 hours? Is that correct?
Yeah. So when we finally got a hold of the security footage and that showed the incident, which was, by the way, the third of a series of incidents, second break-in, but a third incident involving the same individual. By the way, she's a woman, apparently. The police called me back today and they told me they found who it is, but we'll get to that. So I found the footage. I was ready to hand it over to the police, and I called as soon as we were able to download it. I called 32 Division to the non-emergency hotline, and yes, like, as you said, I stayed on hold for just about 2 hours. I managed to pray in the afternoon services and evening services, as well as go out to dinner with a community member, all while on hold with the Toronto Police Service.
Unbelievable. And then when you actually got to speak to them, I understand they were very nonchalant about what was happening. Is that correct?
The truth is that I never really reached them in a direct way. I gave up at about 10, that was last Thursday, the 27th of July. I pretty much gave up on the phone call and drove to 32 Division, which is not so far away, on Yonge Street, and thinking that I would be able to get their attention in person. And I was basically told that number one, that the system that they have is that non-emergency reports go exclusively through the phone line, the hotline. Emergency things obviously go through 911, and they couldn't do anything for me there at the scene. And basically, I was trying to be I'm a little stubborn, so I was trying to maybe see if I could do anything. I said, I was on hold for 2 hours. Yeah, we know you might be on hold for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. So why is that? He said, frankly, we're understaffed right now, which is mind blowing. And basically, 10:30 at night, he said, get back on the phone, wait until they answer, and then you'll be able to report the crime. And that's when I decided I'm going to take other measures in trying to get the attention of the police department.
And Rabbi Neft, I can understand why you would be sensitive to this kind of attempted break-in at your community center. We were talking off camera. You came to Toronto from New York, and of course, my producer, Nye Efron, we went down to New York in 2019 when there was a horrible spike in anti-Semitism. It would be people basically looking like you, walking down the street, minding their own business and getting sucker punched or worse. And of course, your hometown, Pittsburgh, in 2018, that was the scene of that horrible synagogue attack there. So when someone is coming, perhaps even weaponized, we don't know, you can't tell from the footage, it is cause for concern. And quite frankly, I'm scratching my head why the police were so nonchalant about this.
Right. So I'm saying ultimately, you could tell by the footage that this wasn't a hate crime. We have to be real with ourselves. What is a hate crime? What is not a hate crime? Hate crimes are not rare anymore in the city of Toronto and its surrounding areas. Let's start with that. The level-headed observer could see that this was an attempted theft, and the police department called me, the lead inspector of 32 Division. By the way, I have to make mention that after all the noise we made, 32 Division was on the job, on ball. The detectives calling me almost daily, updating me I called. I have I have the lead detective's personal cell phone number. We were in touch about things throughout the week, and then when I finally found footage of the first and second incidents with this individual, the next day I called him that night, Wednesday night, Thursday yesterday. I had an officer bright and early to come pick up that footage. So they've been on the ball ever since we made a lot of noise. But like you said, David, we don't take these things lightly. This is not a community center. This is not just a community center. It happens to be a synagogue. This is the heart of the local Jewish community.
What you just saw was an excerpt from my nightly show, the Ezra Levant Show. Every weekday I do a monologue. Usually it's about half an hour. Then I interview an interesting guest, and then we read my hate mail or my fan mail, whichever is more fun. It's only available behind a paywall, though. That's how we pay our bills here at Rebel News. We don't take a dime from Justin Trudeau. But the good news is it's only $8 a month, about half the price of Netflix. And in addition to my nightly show, you also get weekly shows from 4 other friends here at Rebel News. So you're getting 36 shows a month just for $8. I think it's worth it. And even if you're not quite sure, do it anyways, because we rely on viewers like you to keep us free and independent. I promise you I'll never take a dime from Trudeau. Just go to rebelnewsplus.com and click subscribe. Thanks.